Daily Devotion with Pastor Balla for April 28th, 2025. God rebukes Job's friends. From Job chapter 42, verses 7 and 8. After the Lord had spoken these words to Job, the Lord said to Eliphaz the Temanite, "My anger burns against you and against your two friends, for you have not spoken of me what is right, as my servant Job has. Now therefore take 7 bulls and 7 rams, and go to my servant Job, and offer up a burnt offering for yourselves, and my servant Job shall pray for you. And I will accept his prayer not to deal with you according to your folly. For you have not spoken of me what is right, as my servant Job has." After all the deep theological speeches, God finally speaks directly to Job's friends, and he doesn't hold back. His words are strong. "My anger burns against you." Why? Because unlike Job, they did not speak what was right about God. Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar had tried to explain Job's suffering by blaming Job himself. Their whole argument was built on a faulty understanding that suffering must always be the result of sin, and that God only brings trouble on the wicked. They claimed to defend God's justice, but in doing so, they distorted God's character. They misrepresented the God who is both just and merciful. So God makes it clear. Bad theology matters. Misrepresenting God's nature is not a small issue. These friends offered tidy answers and harsh judgments, but they lacked truth and compassion. They spoke confidently, but wrongly, and now God calls them to repentance. The beauty of this moment is that God provides a way forward. He doesn't just simply condemn them, but he offers restoration. But the path to restoration is humbling. They must bring sacrifices and go to Job, the man they had criticized and accused. They must ask Job to pray for them. This is grace at work. God doesn't cut them off. He invites them to be made right, but only through repentance and intercession. Notice how God refers to Job, "my servant." 4 times in these verses, God calls Job his servant. Even after Job's complaints and questions, God honors him. Why? Because Job spoke honestly about his pain and never denied God's sovereignty. Job struggled, but he didn't falsely accuse God the way his friends did. This distinction matters. This passage reminds us of the importance of speaking rightly about God, especially when others are suffering. It's easy to fall into the trap to offer simple answers to complex pain. And when we speak on God's behalf, we must be careful. Truth without grace misrepresents God. So does confidence without humility. God shows us also something beautiful here. Reconciliation is possible. Even after failure, there is room for forgiveness through sacrifice, prayer, and grace. And Job, the one who suffered most, is the one who now becomes the intercessor. That's a powerful picture of what God can do through those who remain faithful to him. God's peace and many blessings be with you. And thank you for listening. And please take an opportunity to share this message with others.